It's not always screaming or violence that sets off the alarm bells. Sometimes, it's a look, a tone, a phrase that feels a little too familiar. Every woman has had that moment, the one that makes her gut twist and her brain scream, "Get out!" These aren't stories of overt aggression, but of chilling subtleties that women around the world have learned to read like survival manuals. Because when you've lived your life constantly scanning for threats, you become fluent in red flags. This chilling collection of real experiences shared by women online reveals how deeply ingrained this instinct for self-preservation really is. These aren't tales of extreme violence, but rather of moments that may seem harmless to outsiders, till you hear them from the inside. And once you start reading, you'll want to read to the end. 1. The ride that turned into a trap. I accepted a ride home from a party. I was tired, grateful, until he locked the doors and said I couldn't get out unless I gave him my number. I was suddenly very aware that we were alone, and he was in control. Itis Watatis, 619. 2. The fetishizing stranger. He started speaking to me in Japanese, thinking it would impress me. I'm not Japanese. He didn't ask where I was from. He just saw my face and decided who I was. So I responded in fluent French and watched his face fall. When you see someone reduce you to a fantasy, it doesn't feel like a compliment, it feels like danger. Darkfield_SPX3. The therapist who glared like a threat. I told my male therapist I was an atheist. His entire body shifted. His jaw locked, eyes narrowed, and he glared at me silent, but full of something I recognized. Rage. The same glare my abusive father used to give before things got physical. I canceled all future appointments. I'm convinced that if it hadn't been a virtual session, I wouldn't have left unscathed. Pinyapluv 666. For the ex-wife comment that turned chilling. I was alone with a client when he said, "You look just like my ex-wife." I gave a polite, unsure laugh. Then he looked me dead in the eye and said, "I fucking hate my ex-wife." That switch flipped so fast, it left me frozen. Netmacat 5. The unexpected dinner guest. I told a guy I was seeing that I had dinner plans with coworkers and couldn't hang out that night. I never told him who I was with or where we were going. In the middle of the meal, he walked in and sat at our table completely uninvited. I still don't know how he found me. When I asked why he was there, he got angry and told me not to talk to him again. So I didn't. Jenny 101-6. 6. The walk in the woods. Request. He asked me to go for a walk. At 10 p.m. In the woods. When I declined, he said I was boring. I call it the predator test. Say no, and see how they react. Alra Banana 7. The Hinge match who showed up at work. We matched on a dating app but hadn't even gone out. He showed up to my job. With donuts. For my coworkers. Multiple times. I never even gave him my address. Zvakarian 8. The shadow that falls across a man's face. It's the shift in the eyes, the jaw, the puffing of the chest, the standing just a little too close, speaking over you, dismissing what you say like you're a silly little girl. It's 1,000 little things you learn to read. That moment when he doesn't get what he wants, sand, the shadow falls. Something quirky 01-9. The creepy comment about tattoos. I was cleaning his house. He looked me up and down and said, "You really have a lot of tattoos, don't you?" The way he said it, it wasn't small talk. It made my skin crawl. Getband 616. 10. The elevator trick. He insisted I get off the elevator first. In a deserted parking garage, Belinda Bell. The first date power play. I took my purse to the restroom, and he snidely asked why. So I said loudly, I need to change my tampon. He looked mortified and told me to stop making a scene. Then added, we'll talk about this after dinner. I left immediately. I know what that line really means. The boyfriend who lifted without consent. He'd physically lift me off the ground in public and refuse to put me down, even when I told him to stop. Later, I found out he'd secretly recorded us during sex. I was just a toy to him. I should have trusted that first uncomfortable feeling. Decent_friend_1511. 13. The nice guy, who wouldn't take no. He kept offering to walk me home from campus at night. I said no. Finally, he asked, why not? It's not like I'm going to do anything to you. That sentence alone made my blood run cold. Kind-hearted_icequeen 14. The tour guide who separated her from the group. He pulled me away from a group cave tour into the darkness to show me something cool. I said no over and over. He didn't care until I screamed for my friend. Then he sulked and called me boring. I'll never forget how loud my internal alarms were screaming. Kiddis's Woof, 91. 15. The coworker who thought he owned me. I was chatting with a guy at a bar after work, when a male coworker I barely knew screamed in my face, calling me a slut. He thought that because he bought me a drink earlier, I owed him. I fled to the bathroom, shaken. Random women I'd never met surrounded me like a shield and got me safely to a cab. Turned out he was telling people we were dating. I quit the job the next day. Mental Market 7016. 16. The man who blocked the exit. A male coworker once stood between me and the door while confronting me about something trivial. I told him afterward not to do that again. It made me feel trapped. So then he started doing it more often. Like he enjoyed watching me feel uncomfortable. Apprehensive Eyes 4962. 17. The customer who waited for hours. I was 18 and working a shift at a fast food place. A customer asked what time I got off. I said, vaguely, later tonight. He sat in the dining room for hours, watching. I was terrified to leave. One of the cooks told him I had left early. The next day, he came back looking for me. The cook told him I'd quit because of him. He never returned. That man saved me. Dionyse's conclusion. These aren't dramatic overreactions. They're survival stories. Warnings passed from one woman to another. If you've ever felt the air change in a room, seen the shift in someone's face, or heard the subtle threat in a nice comment, you just know. Have a story of your own. Feel like sharing, anonymously or not. You're not alone, and your story might help someone else trust their gut.